At MTAC Another World, John talked to MC Frontalot for this awesome interview here on the Awesome Cast.
Hello, and welcome to MTAC Another World. We are here with the godfather of Nerdcore Hip-Hop. It's MC Frontalot. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, first of all, what have you been working on lately?
Oh, well, for an awful long time, I have been working on my 8th record. I have been saying that for years because I've been working on it for years.
Winds of Winter of Nerdcore Hip-Hop.
Yeah, sort of. It's just taken me forever. There's no reason to build it up as though it's going to come out and you'll be like, oh, that's 7 years of work right there. This is some very sporadic efforts on my part is why it's taking so long. But it's coming along, making good progress this year, I think.
Looking forward to it. How's the convention been treating you so far?
Lovely. Anime shows are always fun. I like seeing all the young people dressed up as inexplicable space monsters and ladies of the evening from Victorian times, except in outer space.
Exactly.
Yeah. I see them. I see the kids in there who seem like indoor kids, as most of us are or were, in their, like, one weekend of going away from home, dressing up super crazy, and being totally extroverted. And I wonder, like, do they get home and they're just like, that took a lot out of me. I'm not going to speak a word to another human for 4 weeks. Or does it leave them super energized and feeling like they need to find a way to live full time in the, the SWAT team outfit or the, Interstellar Space Queen getup or, Sephiroth or whoever.
Oh, God. Yeah. I'm of the age where, once I'm done with the convention, I don't want to talk to anybody for a month.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I think that's what they say of introversion, is that it's not that you can't engage, it's just that the battery, once drained, takes a long time to come back.
Right.
And you need the me time afterwards. But there's a sort of an indoor kid lifestyle where you have maybe more me time than you wanted or needed.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself hungering for the convention weekend where everyone of a like mind frolics together.
Yeah, you get that convention hangover. You're like, man, I wish I was back there. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think I could do it again.
I also am tired after conventions.
So what made you take an interest in music and performing?
I came at the arts more from the writing angle and also the visual angle. A lot of my friends were musicians. I came at music more as a fan than an artist originally. And I honestly got into it through the tools. Like, it was very exciting to me when the kinds of computer that I was likely to have in my home, when that grade of home computer was able to manipulate CD quality audio and mix it together. And this is stuff I'd been, struggling to do on a 4-track for fun with 4-track quality results. And just all of a sudden, it's like these things that you used to have to be a big rock and roll star with a music studio to do you could just muddle through and teach yourself these tools and create results not of similar compositional quality necessarily, but of like similar audio fidelity. And that was just exciting to me. And chopping up samples was sort of the highest quality way to do that, right? Like you didn't need real fancy mics or fancy guitar pedals to get a good tone. You didn't need a nice amplifier. You didn't need any of the stuff. You needed a CD collection, which I had. And that's kind of how I came into making these compositions at home, was just exploring the tool set. And of course I loved hip hop and I loved writing, and I had always enjoyed rapping, but I didn't think anyone would want to listen to me doing it. But it turns out if you try real hard to get better at rapping for a bunch of years, then that's also a possibility that you may improve.
Which has had the biggest impact on your career?
You mean as like an inspiration, or
I left the question intentionally vague. It could be anybody.
Giving me rides places?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I could point to all my friends in Nerdcore who've toured with me and sort of helped me build up the idea that it was not just a silly word, but a little subgenre of music that could have enthusiasts following it as though it were a real genre. All those folks, we collectively had this impact on each other's careers by making it all seem viable to each other. A specific person, my friend Brendan Brown and all my other friends in his band, Wheatus, have taken me to the UK to tour with them 6 times. And that's always had a big, like every couple of years I start feeling kind of like, I'm too old for this. And I'm going to do another van tour around the United States and play 400 cap rooms that still allow smoking and like, and I start feeling a little down on the whole project, and then I go and open for Wheatus for 20 or 30 dates in the UK to these packed rooms where everyone's screaming out Teenage Dirtbag every night, and I'm like, you know what? There's no reason to ever stop doing this. This is really a truly wonderful thing to do with one's life, and if you're privileged enough to be able to do this instead of having a job, you sure as heck ought to make use of that and keep doing it.
What's the biggest challenge for you as a musician?
For me personally, I have a hard time keeping focus, even though getting the work done, like working on this record that's been in progress forever. Like every time I get, another piece of work done there, and I feel good about myself and I feel happy, and I feel glad that I've done the thing I wanted to do. And it's like, it's very invigorating and fulfilling and everything. And it seems because it's so invigorating and fulfilling, it should be easy to focus on. But that's just a forever struggle that it's not. It's like not easy to focus. I get sidetracked for entire years by there being an election, and I just every day, instead of like writing a song, I'm like looking at poll numbers and things. It's like I get dragged away by my brain to other things, and I should be able to integrate that, right? Why can't I just spend that day making a song about the polling in Waukegan? And the answer is I don't want there to be a song about polling numbers in Waukegan. But for some reason, I'm obsessed with them. Anyway, that's my big struggle, staying on target. I would have been one of the TIE fighter pilots who got blown up before they got in the trench. Not TIE fighter pilots. Those are the bad guys. I would have been Red 5, or who was the dude? Who's the dude who seems like he's going to get a shot off, but no, just he's out.
I mean, it could be worse. Your name could literally be Porkins.
Porkins. I could be Porkins. Does he even get a line out? Does he say anything on the radio?
I don't remember.
Is he cut? Anyway.
I just remember it's like, oh no, Porkins. It's like, oh God, you named him Porkins. Okay.
That's George for you. Stay on target. That's what I'm saying. The guy who can't stay on target well enough to accomplish his goals for the day. That's my burden to bear.
Be creative. What keeps you motivated?
I don't just fear of death, you know.
Okay.
It's like okay, if I fell out of an airplane tomorrow because someone hadn't quite bolted the side of it on correctly or for whatever reason, are these 7 records and Secret Live album and a bunch of demos and my old zombie musical and a bunch of DVDs from PAX and some web comics I made. And like, is that really going to be all that I left? Like, I didn't have children. I didn't build anyone a house. Like, is this really all I will have left to the universe upon my disappearance? I really had better add something more to that before I take another airplane ride.
Yeah, you better get one more album in there.
That's about it. So I guess I don't know what that is. Really, that's sort of a combination of vanity and narcissism and fear. And any artist who gives a different answer is lying.
They're all liars, every last one of them. So what are some of your interests outside of just music and?
Boy, do I play a lot of video games.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
What are you playing these days?
I sure did mean to get a couple of songs finished the last week and a half, but instead I realized that A, Last of Us Season 2 was about to start, and B, I hadn't played Last of Us 2 because it hadn't come out on PC yet, and then C, it had just come out on PC and I hadn't noticed. So, confluence of those 3 factors caused me to have to play Last of Us 2 for about a week and a half, which I did, and I just finished it the other day. And it's pretty good. I liked it.
It's all right game.
It's all right. It's pretty good. Before that, like after the election, I was getting real depressed.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So I found that about 450 to 600 hours of Factorio put a nice dampening effect on depression and all other human feelings.
Push them all down.
It just takes the pain away. Like you play the game, your dopamine receptors are slurping up the little sense of accomplishment that you would otherwise have from like doing things. It's a great doing stuff, getting stuff done and accomplishing things simulation. Has the exact effect you want it to have if you're in need of those feelings and also want to obliterate your perception of the outside world for several hours at a stretch.
So you're obviously a nerd. I'm not insulting anybody. I'm not telling you anything new. What were some of like the games and movies and shows growing up that really inspired you?
Well, I'm 51 right now, so I was just in the exact perfect audience window for Star Wars when it came out. I was like 4. And that was back when movies would have their run, and there weren't that many movies, and there were only 4 TV channels, and nobody had VHS. Nobody had a way to show a movie at home, except your weird uncle with his stag films on 16 millimeter or whatever, right? So like movies played in their initial run, but then they kept playing again if they were popular. And then there was a huge network of second run movie houses that played, stuff from a few years back for a night or two, and then moved on to the next thing on the calendar. And that whole infrastructure is gone, but at the time, I was able to see Star Wars, I kept careful count, 11 times before Empire came out. And I remember standing in line on what must have been a Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon. Movies probably opened on Fridays in 1981. For Empire, and like someone had the datebook section of the San Francisco Chronicle and was passing it down the line, and Yoda was on the cover of that's like the entertainment section of the paper, and big picture of Yoda on the cover. And I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. He wasn't like in any TV commercials for it that I had seen. Ooh, there's going to be that. That's like a character. I remember being excited about that. Anyway, I collected every one of the Kenner Star Wars. That was my entire disposable income as a child, saving up quarters and getting those. I think they cost $1.29. Go to Toys R Us, try and find one I didn't have, add it to the collection. So I was obsessed with Star Wars. I played D&D as a kid, not at 4, but more like middle school. I was big into Marvel comics, not so much DC. I turned into like a horror geek around junior high, had a Fangoria subscription. And always there were video games. I had a TRS-80 Color Computer 2 that my grandpa gave me. Played text adventure games on that. I don't think Infocom games came out for that, but I had there was like a reskin of Cave Adventure that somebody had made called Pyramid 2000. That was the first adventure game I ever played on my first computer. I never had consoles. I was always a computer kid. I went from the TRS-80 to Commodore 64 and then to PC when I went off to college. And I always looked down a little on consoles. The PS1 came out like halfway through college, and then I remember my friends had it in their like fraternity house. They had one of those like fraternities from Animal House where everybody's like a weird drunken pot smoker, but they still for some reason are a fraternity. I used to go over there and smoke their pot, and they were playing Battle Arena Toshinden, and I was like, oh wow, consoles actually do stuff that my Commodore 64 couldn't do. It's pretty impressive. Every console I've ever owned has been to play a Grand Theft Auto title, including the Grand Theft Horse games, and I've just managed to buy one, usually used, to play each of those because I can't wait for the PC ports.
I have to assume by Grand Theft Horse you mean like the Red Dead games?
Yes, I mean the RDR games.
Yeah. That's just a great way to refer to them, though. Grand Theft Horse.
I mean, I assume that's what they were originally titled.
The theme of this is MTAC Another World. It's isekai, getting transported into some, weird dimension. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. If you had to be transported to another world, doesn't have to be anime, where would you go?
Gosh. Well, honestly, my first visit would be to this world, except in the timeline where Bush v. Gore went the other way in 2000.
Yeah, that'd be a fun place to go to.
Maybe a deep cut for some of your younger listeners, but if that hadn't happened, if the Supreme Court had not installed George W. Bush as president in the year 2000, and Al Gore had instead become president, it's possible. I mean, who knows? Anston Kutcher, what's his name? He could be waking up with no arms right now. But like, we don't know what would happen. Those were terrible arms. But it could be that, the planet would not be on fire / underwater, or like 40% less. We definitely would not have invaded and occupied Iraq for all those years. Could have conceivably gotten out of Afghanistan after just storming it briefly. I think even Al Gore would have invaded Afghanistan after 9/11, but a lot of things could be going a different way.
9/11 would have been totally different in terms of like the way it was,
the way we responded. Yeah. It would have. We'd live in a very different and possibly less fascist riddled hellscape. We could have a different hellscape. Yeah. So I would go check that one out.
A completely original hellscape tomorrow.
I was also fantasizing recently about having time travel powers, and I was wondering how big a time travel team I would need to assemble to go back to about 98, 97, and completely disempower Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Andreessen, like the whole libertarian turned fascist like mob who's currently financing and directing our descent into complete and utter destruction. Like what would you have to do? Because none of them had like amazing technological innovations. They just had products at like perfectly opportune moments, right? Like there was no amazing technology in Facebook or PayPal. There was no big idea there. They were just like a little more like ruthless and shitty about it at just exactly the right internet moment, and happened to be the ones who like got a jackpot out of it. So I think if I had like maybe 2 finance bros, like 4 hackers, and like a law person, I feel like you take that team back, and then you could be the person who invented Facebook, PayPal,
right?
Netscape, right? You could spend all that money hunting and destroying Elon Musk,
right,
and his ilk, and maybe then also our hellscape would be less pronounced here currently in the now.
Again, totally different hellscape.
These are not.
Down for it.
These are only obliquely escapist fantasies. I know my proper answer should be like, I'd like to be on Pillow World, where everyone is a plushie and we just bounce and giggle. No, I want to be here, but with less suffering.
It's a good answer. I like it. Well, Front, it has been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you just sitting down, talking with me, being honest. Thank you so much. As far as where they can follow along with what you're doing, where's the best place to do that?
Frontalot.com is where one could keep abreast of the project and also hear all the music and see all the videos and etc. I am most active on Blue Sky in terms of daily updates these days. I like Blue Sky; it's nice. And this year, I'm going on tour. I'm going on tour of parts west in June and parts east and midwestern and some of the south in July and very early August. I'm doing both of those with Schaefer the Dark Lord. Those should be fun. I'm playing a hacker convention in Norway. I'm playing a hacker convention in Montreal. There's always other little things here and there, but those are my big projects for the year and movements and motions.
At any point in your life, did you think, "Oh, I'm gonna say the words. I'm gonna be playing a hacker convention in Norway"?
No. In fact, last year that seemed unimaginable to me, but one reached out, so.
And here we are.
Check it out. Gonna be there.
Well, thanks again. It has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Listen, I tell you, the Frontalot is incredible. Even recommended to rock the mic, like instead of a silence, you'd have me fronting into the amplifier, point with the thumb at which MC to admire. I got high-res images of...
And that was the interview. Thank you once again to Middle Tennessee Anime Convention and MC Frontalot for this interview. You can find out more about MC Frontalot at frontalot.com and follow him on Blue Sky at mc.frontalot.com. You can find more information about MTAC at mtac.net, and you can find all our stuff at awesomecast.com, OSMCAST, including our Discord server, TeePublic merch, and Patreon. Thanks for listening.